A.T.1 short.
Yo, what's going on? It's Liim. I'm an artist from Harlem, New York. So I was raised in Harlem. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it for that because it made me tough in tough situations. I grew up near the Apollo Theater, Cotton Club. Music has heavy influence in the culture in Harlem. Yo, you interrupting the podcast, bro. I spend most of my time in the studio. My studio is pretty, I think, aesthetically pleasing. We just make videos to the song, kind of, and it kind of blew up just on platforms and stuff. And it felt crazy, especially because it was our first song together too. So we were just yo, the sky's the limit. Alright, so I was raised in Harlem, 125th Street, Grant Houses, and I mean, I could tell you that it was definitely it was a rough, I had a rough upbringing, but it was definitely one of the most fun upbringings you could have, in life. So, I think the way I grew up and the way I was able to, develop, I appreciate it for that because it made me tough in tough situations. Yeah, so my music connection to New York is, I think a unique one because I grew up Muslim, so we were not, music was not allowed in the crib like that. So I feel like the lack of music is what made me really love music and want to hear music as much as possible. So whenever I was hearing music in the street, I would know the lyrics like that because of how much I would just rock with the song or how scarce music was for me growing up. So, and also like I said before, off camera and all that, I grew up near the Apollo Theater, Cotton Club, very prolific music, spots. I don't know, feel me? So I think that just being around that, I think in Harlem is also a pressure of music. The Harlem culture is completely and utterly music. You know what I mean? Everything that, if you go to Harlem, you'll see a wall with big L on it. Or you feel me? Music has heavy influence in the culture in Harlem. So my earliest memory making music, I think I'm a kid. I had a 3DS and I was just I have a video, I could send that. I have a video of me just rapping. There was a challenge called the 10 Toes Down Challenge, and there was a beat. It's just some little kid stuff. It was this beat that's it's funny as hell, bro. I think that's the first video I recorded myself rapping. My earliest memory of me making music on oh, there's a beat now that isn't a challenge or anything like that. I was with the homie Oprah and all that, I had already kind of been, I would say experimenting with different sounds and whatnot on some trap vibes and this and that. And then he kind of brought in a lot of indie stuff I'd never heard of, Steve Lacy, Thundercat, all these now super big influences in my music. And that kind of changed how I saw music. And so we started recording on our phones and whatnot. So Pupils, a song I made 2 years ago with the homie, the way that song went down was me and my homie used to just kind of look for beats on YouTube, type beats and all that. I guess funny enough, it was Steve Lacy type beat or something like that. And he had recorded on this beat, and he just sent me the song yo, look what I made. And I really rocked with it. It was crazy to me that he made that. I saw that there was a whole minute left on. He recorded this on his phone, by the way. I think he was in Louisiana or something at the time, or Nigeria or something like that. I don't even know, but he was across the country, or not even in the country. I don't remember, but he sent it to me. And there was a whole minute left on the beat, so I was I'm just gonna put some on there. And then I sent it back to him. He's yo, this is fire. We dropped it, and it did really, really good. We got I think 1 million plays in like 2 months or something like that. Something crazy like that. I don't remember. And that was our first song together too. So we were just like, oh, the sky's the limit. But yeah, that was really how that came to play. Yeah. No, yeah. We would just like make videos to the song kinda. And it kinda blew up just on platforms and stuff, and like kids were just like, it felt crazy, like, especially because we had a lot of like publication, like posting our shit, like our stuff, our music. We had a lot of like, yeah, there's a lot of love though. We were meeting a lot of fans, especially at the time as well. It just felt good. It just felt right, you know what I mean? So yeah, so like in the past 2 years, going from not ever recording in the studio and only recording on our phones to like being in like, you know, some of the best studios I've ever seen in my life. I'd say the transition was at first very rough because I had signed to a label and like I was getting paid now, and I felt like the pressure from that made me start to make music for a label and not necessarily for myself like how I used to. So it switched. It kind of pulled the creativity out of me and started, it caused me to be kind of like, I guess you could say, self-conscious about my music in a way where like I'm like, okay, I want them to like this, so I'm gonna change this about this and change this about that, my authenticity and all that. But over time, after I met the homie AJ Radical, he was probably one of the first producers I worked with after being signed, and I was like, yo, this kid's music is crazy. Sorry to call you a kid, AJ, because you're older than me, but he's still a kid for me. But yeah, I was like, bro's music is crazy. He's like a super talented musician, plays like every instrument you could think of, literally. And that kind of like sparked creativity in me again on the level of like, oh, I don't have to make music, because my label was primarily like drill rappers at first. So like I would be around like Cash Cobain and like, shout out R2R I'd be around R2R and July and all these. They're not necessarily all drill rappers, but their music is definitely drill-esque. So that kind of was like, I felt I had to not necessarily even be on that, just similar, or like just like, oh, what do you expect from a New York artist? You know what I mean? And so my first, few months signed to 3XL, I was working on a project called Red Button, and there were like a couple things that caused me to scrap that project, and I'd say number one reason I scrapped the project is because it wasn't authentic to me, and like the things I was saying was true and real, but it's just like the way I was saying it and like the way people were interpreting it is not how I wanted it to be interpreted. Second reason is, I don't even gotta talk about it actually, but yeah, I had like, I think over like 70 songs that were like that could have been ready to drop that I just had to completely wipe. And I'm glad I did it, because now I have a completely new project on the way, and it's very authentic to me and very just real. Like it's actually good music in my opinion. So yeah. With this new project, I definitely feel more gratified. I definitely feel also that like this is the most authentic work it's my best work. It's not my masterpiece, but it's actually my best work. And I don't know, like it was made with love. Like I have all my homies producing on it, all my homies rapping on it, singing on it, doing this and all that. So it's just like, it's actually like, it's just gonna be fun to roll out, because I'm also a very visual artist. So all the videos I'm planning on shooting for it, I think it's gonna really encapsulate what I go through on a day-to-day basis. Like I'm with the homies every day, so I want people to look into that. I would say my favorite place to see live music in New York would be Public Records. So So my first time going to Public Records, there's this artist named Khalil from Milwaukee, and I seen he was doing a show in New York. So I was like, yo, this dude's music is crazy. So I had to run up and check it out. And that was the first time I went to Public Records. And I just peeped the venue. The sound system was crazy. The energy was crazy. Like, it was just like, it was a good looking spot. And it was just, I don't know, it was good vibes. It was cool. Like, I spend most of my time in the studio. My studio is pretty, I think, aesthetically pleasing. Other than that, yeah, I really don't know. I can't even think about another place right now, for real. On listening platforms, my artist name is just Liim, Liim. And my Instagram is Liim, not Liim, spelled exactly the same. So, I mean, that's really the only social I use. So, follow me there, all that. And this is ATSometime somewhere for AT1 Radio.
AT1 sort.
ATSometime Somewhere is produced by Audio-Technica for AT1 Radio. It is recorded at AT1 Studio at Technica House, New York. Follow AT1 Radio and Audio-Technica USA on all social media platforms. Thanks for listening.